Hello everybody, it's Merlin here, and I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's kind of always bugged me. I mean, it's always kind of irritated me. I've never quite understood it. In regards to Dragon Ball, of course, Dragon Ball fandom, I mean, always goes back to Dragon Ball with me. Specifically Dragon Ball Z. One of my biggest issues with the Buu saga was the fact that they started relying on gimmicks that were even sillier. Now, you could argue about whether or not this was going back to the true basic nature of the series. I saw the series progressively getting more mature and serious, therefore, I thought it was a massive tonal shift that kind of was out of nowhere. But one of the biggest things about the Buu saga that annoyed me was fusion. Pretty much anybody with any Saiyan blood seems to be able to go Super Saiyan at this point. But then they started having to fuse them. Now, I could kind of understand that this could have seemed interesting because it was Piccolo teaching the other characters something they could use. But I always found that once they used fusion, much the same way that pretty much every Saiyan character became Super Saiyan, it took something kind of special away from the idea of the Super Saiyan. In a very similar way, once people started using fusion, it took something interesting and special and unique regarding the Namekians. There was something unique to them. Like, really, it was one of the coolest things about their race was that they could do that, and I thought that that was kind of a little bit of an edge they had over the Saiyans, because, let's face it, the Saiyans can be incredibly powerful no matter what. I mean, with the recovering incredibly easily from massive beatdowns, giving them a boost, you know, where it does very little for humans. I mean, then everybody going Super Saiyan, really without much effort towards the end. I mean, it was kind of ridiculous. And in particular, I just hate it when people refer to people like Gogeta and Vegeta as like actual characters, and like treat them like, oh, the most powerful character in the series was Gogeta. Like, okay, technically speaking, yes, the fusion between Goku and Vegeta created a being that was temporarily more powerful, but that's not a real legitimate character. That is a power-up. That's two people combined together. Now, if this had managed to be in existence longer than the plot required him to be, which ultimately proved to be for no particular reason, just to kind of do something cool that stretch out the fight for Buu even longer, then perhaps we could have seen more about how this personality would have been shifted between Vegeta and Goku. Yes, it does say a lot about Vegeta's character development to do that, but I just always hated it when they refer to the fused character as always as a real character, because in that particular instance, what about Piccolo though? Because with Piccolo, he's a Namekian, he's his own character. So, what about that? Because then where does that leave somebody like Piccolo? I mean, technically speaking, Piccolo is a constantly changing different character throughout most of the series. I mean, if you want to argue that he's the reincarnation of Piccolo as opposed to his son, which is probably technically the correct way to view it, then he was already going through a massive transformation as a character there. But let's just say even then he was just the same person then. Well, when he fused with Kami, he became the nameless Namekian. And before that, he fused with Nail and was already a different person. So really, Piccolo as we know him hasn't really been in existence since the Saiyan saga. So really, you say, if you're going to acknowledge a character like Gogeta as being his own character, which he really isn't, then you have to acknowledge Piccolo as being something else. But no, it's generally accepted as Piccolo because that was the dominant personality. You know, but no, people just completely ignore that. So I just find it interesting. I always found fusion to be a really silly gimmick, never really was into it. I think it kind of adds a lot of issues. But let me know what you guys think about fusion. It's always bugged me, but some people seem cool with it. Just let me know in the comments. I'm kind of curious what you guys think about this. Alright guys, Merlin out. Peace.